Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Jo Maguire, and I'm a registered nutritionist with Food Choice. And I'm here today as part of the Parenting and Nutrition 3-week program. And this is week one out of the 3-week program, where our first topic is around building a balanced plate for children. So I'm really excited to get into this topic with you and help educate you around nutrition for children and building healthy habits. So before we get into things, I just want to explain how the 3-week program is going to work and what to expect. So, like I mentioned, this is week one. As part of each week, you will receive a short webinar like this on a particular topic. You will also receive some sheets and a checklist, and you will also receive a recorded cook-along video, where I recorded a video demonstrating a particular healthy meal that hopefully you and your children will enjoy. And lastly, you will receive a sample meal plan with recipes to help you just get some inspiration and ideas for creating some healthy meals for you and your family. So, like I said, I'm very excited to get stuck into this. So, I'm going to share my screen and go through the presentation and go through some formalities at the start as well. Okay, so like I said, the first topic is building a balanced plate for children. And before we get into things, just to give you some insight into who Food Choice are, we are a team of registered nutritionists and dietitians, and we specialize and work with corporate wellness and employees as part of the workplace. And we are in partnership with Irish Life, and we aim to support employees to improve their dietary behaviors and habits. And we offer a number of ways to work with us. So this is the 3-week program. There is also a very successful 6-week program which we run, and this is a great way to build up long-term habits and get guidance every week as part of the 6-week program. And an introduction to who I am. So I am a registered nutritionist. I am associated with the Association for Nutrition. I specialize in women's health and hormones. I also have a big interest in empowering people around nutrition and the topic of nutrition and making it easy and accessible and understandable rather than making it more complicated than it needs to be. I also have a great interest in family eating patterns and helping families create more enjoyable and nutritious meals together. And again, taking the confusion out of the equation. So, just a quick disclaimer as well before getting into things. Food Choice are committed to supporting you to improve your nutritional health and well-being. The group nutrition sessions aim to provide high quality and evidence-based information. Our content and recommendations are for general population and do not address specific individual requirements. So this training is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. And if you do have any health concerns or any concerns about your nutritional health, please do consult a qualified professional. Okay, now that we've gone through all of the formalities at the beginning, we can get into the topic of today. So, building a balanced plate for children. So, today we're going to go through the balanced plate formula, what that looks like, what's involved, and why it's important. We're going to talk about the food pyramid and how you can apply this to your meals and snacks and get used to what the components of the food pyramid. We'll talk about portion sizes by age group and just getting a bit more understanding around these so that you can have more empowerment around building your meals together, understanding the portion sizes. And there will also be a little challenge at the end. So the introduction of today's topic, just to kind of get you aware of what we're going to be going through and what it's all about, it's really to help parents to build healthy, balanced meals for their children. I'm sure you're already doing a fantastic job as it is, and it's important to note this isn't about being perfect or there's no one size fits all. Every child is different, and it's normal for them to have particular likes and dislikes and their own preferences. So I want to say this on the outset that take the pressure off, and it's not about being perfect, but just getting more information that you can use to, support your children in the best way as possible. Proper nutrition during childhood is essential for optimal growth and cognitive development. So when children eat healthy and healthy diet, it has lots of benefits from their mental and cognitive health to their bone and teeth health to improved mental health and maintaining a healthy weight as well. So all of these important things. So that's where diet comes in, and it does play a big role. So we want to kind of get the information that we can then use to apply that to their day-to-day life. So, firstly, let's get into the balance and the balance plate formula. So, why does it even matter? So, it has been shown, and benefits of a balanced plate has lots of benefits really. So, by a balanced plate, like if we have, it's not just one meal; it is a balanced diet overall. But building a balanced plate is the start of it, and then each meal should kind of be based around this formula, which we will get into. And children who follow this balanced plate meal type will show things like steady energies for activity and play throughout the day, better concentration and cognitive function for learning and processing new information. I mean, this is a time of their lives when they're processing so much new information around them. The world is so new to them. So we want to be able to help their brains be at its best to absorb and utilize all this new information. It has a benefit in helping support gut function, so really healthy gut, and supporting a strong immune system. Again, children who get, if they're eating well, can then recover more quickly from illnesses. And as you know, like being in schools and crashes and things like that, there's so many different illnesses every week. So the stronger their immune system, the better for them. On the other side, or the flip side, if their plates are not balanced for the majority of the time, this can increase issues such as energy crashes, fussy eating. So again, lack of exposure to like a balanced plate can mean they just don't develop the feel, the taste, the idea even of all these healthier foods. So they can develop more fussier eating type behaviors as they get older, and also can lead to lack of focus. So when we're looking at a balanced plate, we want to be thinking of having a plate that includes a source of protein, a source of carbohydrates, some healthy fats, and lots of color. If you have a plate with lots of different colors on it, you're definitely on the right track. So, how do we build this balanced plate then? So, we're going to talk about the age group from 5 to 12 years old, firstly. So, 5 to 12-year-olds can start eating the same meals as adults. So, nothing needs to change. They can have the same family meals that everyone else is having. The size of your plate for a child at that age is the same as an adult size plate. So, if you're wondering what this is, get a measure of your outstretched hand will tell you what the is will tell you what the size of your plate should be as well. So that's the size of an adult size plate. So when we're putting together a meal on this plate, we want to have half of the plate filled with fruit and vegetables. So in the Irish diet, this might not be that typical. So it's really important that we're conscious of this, both as adults and children, to fill half the plate with more vegetables and fruit when you're creating a meal. So this can simply be just adding an extra portion of variety of vegetables to your evening meal. So instead of just having one, perhaps you have two, and filling up the plate more with those rather than the other types of foods that you might include. It can mean adding an extra portion of fruit to breakfast or adding some more salad veg to lunch. But doing this and making the extra conscious effort to add more color to fill up your plate will definitely steer you in the right direction for building a balanced plate. Then the other quarter of the plate should be whole grains and starchy foods such as breads and pasta and rice, couscous, things like that. So these again, ideally are on the whole grain types of foods, and we need quarter of these on the plate. And then a quarter of the plate is protein sources, whether that is a veggie option or a meat option. So veggie options can be eggs or beans and pulses, and then your meat options can be chicken or fish or red meat, something like that. When it comes to hydration for 5 to 12-year-olds, optimal hydration sources are water or milk, and this is what we should be prioritizing over everything else. And then if we're just looking at children aged from 1 to 4 years, their plate size is smaller. So it's a 20 centimeter size. So it's a smaller size plate, and it's about the size of a side plate. Now this age group are growing rapidly. So they have small tummies, but big nutritional needs. So it's really important that we're giving them enough time to eat throughout the day, but they might need to eat that much in one sitting. So you're looking at spreading the meals out. So like three small meals and 2 to 3 snacks. This is going to ensure they're getting then their adequate nutrition needs and optimum nutrition needs spread throughout the day. And it will also mean that they're not turning food away as they're over full, as they're eating too much in one sitting. So smaller meals throughout the day is a much better way to approach it, and two to three little snacks as well. They do have a higher fat need as well. So most of this is going to come from dairy sources such as cheese, yogurt, and milk. If they do eat fish such as salmon, this would also be another great source and will provide a lot of benefits for cognitive function. This also is a great time to introduce like simpler textures and finger feeding. So this is great for for familiarization, getting used to different textures, sensations. Even if they're not eating everything on that plate and they're doing a lot of what looks like messing, that's actually really important. It's getting them used to the food, the texture, and the feel of it. So this can really help with reducing fussy eating later on in life. So get different textures and foods out in front of them and let them explore it and get familiar with it. It's really good for them developing a feel for them and starting to like them more and not be afraid of them as they get older. And then again, choose breakfast cereals with added iron. That's just something to note because they do need high iron intakes during this stage. Again, as it's really important for growth and development. And when it comes, so you can get that with cereals with added iron, or they do eat some red meat dishes as well that you can get your iron sources there. And lastly, again, when it comes to hydration, we should be really prioritizing water and milk. These are the optimal sources for hydration. So now this is the food pyramid that we are going to base most of our meals on. And what we look at here, we prioritize the bottom and we minimize the foods at the top, particularly the very, very top. But yeah, let's go through this. The very bottom is your fruit and vegetables. So this is going to be the basis of all meals. All meals should have a source of fruit and vegetables in them. So for children aged over 5, ideally they're having 5 to 7 portions a day. This will be approximately an 80-gram portion of a fruit or vegetable throughout the day. Again, don't worry so much about the grams and things like that. Just adding in like an apple as a snack instead of a bag of crisps, or a couple of strawberries instead of the chocolate bar sometimes. That's just a way, or even alongside it, just to kind of balance it out and make sure they're getting those colors and those benefits into their diet. Next, we have the whole grain and starchy foods. So again, these are extremely important for energy. Carbohydrates are the main fuel source for the body. And at this stage of life, they have high energy needs. So it's really important that the priority is on carbohydrates and fruit and vegetables. And when it comes to carbohydrates, ideally, we're getting it from whole grain sources. Again, this is just going to provide extra fiber and other vitamins such as B vitamins, which are great for energy. So we can look at whole wheat bread and Weetabix and oats. Brown rice, brown pasta, things like that. So again, 3 to 5 servings of these a day is the recommended intake for your 5 to 12-year-old. When it comes then to dairy sources, um, we're looking then at around three sources a day as well. These can come from yogurt and cheese and milk as well. When they do get older, from say 9 to 12 years old, their requirements do increase. So they need 5 servings a day. So just again, from the same sources. So they might need an extra yogurt pot or a little bit more cheese with their meals. They are growing very rapidly at this stage. They need that extra calcium and some vitamin D as well. So this would be important and to get those foods in their diet. And then we move into the protein. And again, like we do want to have a source of protein at most meals, okay? Protein doesn't have to come though from the quality of the protein food, I guess, is really important here. So we want to focus on the more leaner types, such as your chicken, your white fish, your oily fish, and say even lean cuts of red meat. We want to, when we're eating meat particularly, that's really important to be mindful of, and not kind of consuming processed meats like chorizos, hams, salami, things like that. So swapping out your ham sandwich maybe for like a chicken or turkey or tuna sandwich would be a nice swap, because those meats contain a lot of salt, they're more processed, the quality isn't the same. Also vegetarian sources are fantastic, such as again dairy would provide some protein, but eggs as well, beans, and some nuts and seeds too. So a variety of these foods is great. So don't worry if they don't eat meat all the time. They are getting protein in lots of other foods. So peas even are a great source of protein. So like a couple of peas and beans on the plate will really help to boost their protein intake. Lastly, then if we could look at the fat intakes, we want to keep these to more a minimum. So trying to go for the lighter version. So if they do like a mayonnaise, go for the light version of this. You want a small portion of oils and keep it to the healthier versions like olive oil or rapeseed oil as well. But we do want to keep these more to a minimum, particularly like the saturated fats. And then the very top is unhealthy fats, sweet, sugary foods. There's no recommended guidelines for these as they provide no benefits. So it really is just about keeping these to a very, very minimum. And the issues with these are go from increasing risk of obesity, teeth issues, and things like that. So we really want to, reduce the amount of these as much as possible, but do also note like not to create a massive awareness around reducing these, just focusing on the abundance of healthier options and nutritious options and kind of sidelining these and not making, I suppose, drawing a lot of attention to them at the same time. So portion sizes, again, like we don't need to like get overly worried about these. And I suppose your child is going to guide you on how much they want. So a good tip is to fill the plate up with small amounts first. And if they want more, then you can give them more and let they know their own needs for their growth and development, and they will grow at their own rate. So do get them to get more intuitive and allow them to be more intuitive and trust that they will eat what they need. But if you want some guidelines around this, we can use our hands as a way to have an idea of what the portions look like. You can obviously weigh foods, but this gets quite time consuming if we're going to weigh foods every time you're serving a meal. So this diagram, this infograph here by the British Nutrition Foundation is quite useful. You can see the differences in size between an adult size and the child size with using the hands. So, for example, when we're weighing out cereals, three medium handfuls of for the children would be a portion. For cooked pasta or rice, it would be two hands cupped together. When it comes to proteins, the leaner versions of protein, such as the whiter protein, like chicken and fish, that would be the size of their hand. And when it comes to red meat, it would be the size of their palm. So they're just some examples, of portion sizes. A cup measure is about 200 mils of a water glass. So a 200 ml water glass is a cupful measure. So a portion then of rice and pasta would be 1 cup. So that's just an idea for you. Again, potatoes would be one medium potato or four very small potatoes. Again, that's just an example. But just to get some idea of the portion sizes, but not to become, I suppose, obsessed with worrying about them too much. Again, let your child do give you the information through how much they're eating on their plate. But again, using that balanced plate formula, if they enjoy fish, a little bit of fish, some peas, and a few potatoes, and then see how much more they want after that. And it's just a great way to introduce them to it slowly, that they're not feeling overwhelmed with the amount on their plate as well. And then this is the portion sizes looking at children under 4 years of age. So a few differences, particularly around the carbohydrates. This again is a stage of life where they're growing rapidly and they have high energy needs. So from the ages of 1 to 2, they need 3 to 4 servings a day. And then from ages 3 to 4, they need 4 to 6 servings a day. Their fruit and vegetables and salad intake changes slightly from age 1 to 2, 2 to 3 servings, and ages 3 to 4, 4 to 5 servings. Dairy stays the same at 3 servings a day, and meat and poultry is 2 servings for ages 1 to 2, and age 3 to 4 is 3 to 4 servings. And the fat intake is the same in very small amounts, so no differences there. So again, just they're going to be eating a little bit more at this stage in terms of the frequency, but smaller portions and smaller snacks as well. And again, when it comes to protein, this can be one I know a lot of parents can worry about, thinking that they need to get it from meat only, but you can get protein in foods like your oats and Weetabix. There'll be some protein in that. There'll be some protein in the milk you're using. There'll be some protein in peas and beans, and if they eat egg. So you can get protein in lots of different foods. So if they are fussy when it comes to meat, don't worry too much. You are likely making up your protein intake more than you realize. So that's just something I like to point out as well. And when it comes to milk products, ideally at this stage that they're eating more full fat products and not skimmed milk. That's not recommended that they're having any skimmed milk at this stage. So here are just some practical meal ideas that might help you. So for breakfast, whole grain porridge with fruit and nuts. So again, this is ticking off a lot of the balanced plates. So our whole grain porridge is ticking off our carbohydrates, our fiber carbohydrates. Our fruit is ticking off the color, and nuts is ticking off some fats, but also some protein. So this would be a great starter breakfast. Then lunch is an example I've given here is a whole grain wrap with chicken, cheese, and salad veggies, and then using a light mayo or relish. And again, with the salad veggies, like grating up the carrot, grating some cucumber, that can be a great way to kind of reduce the appearance of them and make them appear smaller inside the sandwich, and hopefully they'll enjoy it more. Dinner spaghetti bolognese with hidden veggies. This is particularly for anyone who doesn't like eating vegetables. You can blend your vegetables into the sauce. Don't bother if they're happy to eat the vegetables. It's great for them to enjoy and eat the texture of them and chew the food as well. And then for some snack ideas, I've added an apple and peanut butter, Greek yogurt with fruit and honey, carrot and cucumber sticks with hummus. Again, these are all providing some protein, a little bit of fiber, some fruit is in there, and there's some healthy fats along with these snacks. So they're just some ideas to help you get started with putting together some balanced meals and snacks for your children. So today we've gone through building a balanced plate and the formula, what's involved, the food pyramid. I went through some portion sizes, and then I said we'd also have a challenge. So this week your challenge is to use the balanced plate formula to build meals. So to build a meal for your children and for yourselves as well. And that's what everyone should be using as a formula for putting together a meal. And next week we're going to talk about nutrition for fussy eaters. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this webinar, and I'm looking forward to speaking next week on nutrition for fussy eating.